Hello Bloomington, I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of February 2nd. On Monday night, the City Council hosted a special listening session where nearly 25 residents shared powerful testimony about the impacts of immigration and customs enforcement actions in our community. In addition to the people who spoke, people filled the council chambers and the rehearsal hall, which was used for overflow. It's clear that Bloomington residents are understandably scared, angry, and that they're very concerned for their neighbors who have been directly and indirectly impacted by ICE. Speakers shared inspiring stories about how residents are stepping up to help their neighbors, including volunteering, donating food, and delivering groceries. Many asked the City of Bloomington to do more, and many expressed gratitude for the involvement of the community members, for the work that the city is already doing, and for the work of the Bloomington Police Department. I want to acknowledge that it's not easy to stand in front of a room full of people and talk. I want to thank everyone who took the time and used their courage to testify. I mentioned that residents had a number of ideas and suggestions of how Bloomington can be more involved. Everything from more information on the website, to deferring utility bills, to limiting the use of parks and parking lots as staging areas. Staff and council will look at those ideas and will continue the conversation about the benefits of implementing them. As I've said before, the City of Bloomington can't directly interfere with federal operations, but we are taking actions in response to Operation Metro Surge. First, we joined 9 other suburban metro area communities in filing a supporting brief in a lawsuit led by the Minnesota Attorney General and the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. The suit requests a court order that Operation Metro Surge is unlawful, unjustified, and unconstitutional. Although an emergency request was denied by the federal court last week for procedural reasons, the lawsuit continues against unconstitutional federal DHS activities that are creating widespread fear and disrupting core city functions like education, public safety, and the economy. Second, Bloomington is part of a new coalition called Cities for Safe and Stable Communities, launched by mayors from 12 suburbs of the Twin Cities. This coalition calls for federal accountability, immediate de-escalation of ICE operations, and potential state relief funds in 2026 to address the damage done to our cities and residents. Third, the Bloomington City Council approved up to $350,000 from our 2025 state allocation of local affordable housing aid funds to support emergency rental assistance for Bloomington residents. This approval was a direct response to a huge surge in requests for financial help. If you or someone you know needs support, please contact our great community partners at Veep. Their contact information is on the screen. And finally, last week I traveled to Washington, D.C. to attend the U.S. Conference of Mayors winter meeting, where I discussed all of these issues with colleagues from across the country. Over the course of 24 hours, I spoke with Senators Klobuchar and Smith, with our Bloomington representative Kelly Morrison, and with staff from the 4 Republican members of the congressional delegation. The message was clear. Local leaders stand united in defending constitutional rights and ensuring our communities remain safe and welcoming for all. Also this week, the Council received an update on the sale of general obligation sales tax bonds to help fund one of our 3 voter-approved community projects as part of Bloomington Forward. This sale included funding for the 9 Mile Creek Corridor Renewal Project, which includes habitat restoration, stream bank improvements, stormwater management upgrades, park renovations, and improved access to natural areas. This is an important investment in long-term environmental health, flood mitigation, and community recreation in Bloomington. Thanks to Bloomington's excellent financial reputation and strong credit rating, the bond sale went incredibly well. We secured an outstanding true interest cost of 3.38%. And investors continue to see Bloomington as a safe and attractive place to invest. In fact, the city received 16 bids from investors eager to participate in this bond sale. I also want to note, revenue from our local option sales tax is coming in on track, which is great news. Given the unpredictability of the current economic climate, we'll continue to monitor revenue very closely to ensure these projects stay on sound financial footing. And finally today, speaking of the 9 Mile Creek Corridor project, at the January 26th City Council meeting, final plans for the Corridor Renewal project were approved. This week, the council also approved the bid for tree removal to support upcoming construction activities. The tree removal work and the start of the Veterans Memorial at Harrison Park marks the start of construction on this project. About 80 to 90 individual trees covering about 5 acres of land will be cleared, starting later this winter. All tree removal will be completed by April 15th to protect habitat for the endangered northern long-eared bat. That's in compliance with federal environmental guidelines. Removals will focus on younger, less desirable species and promote a healthier forest over the long term by allowing sunlight to support native plants on the forest floor, which reduces erosion and gives room for remaining trees to grow stronger. The clearing will provide access and space for a range of important project elements, including ADA-compliant trail access from Moyer Park, parking lot improvements and the Veterans Memorial at Harrison Park, creek re-meandering to restore natural flows, bridge replacements, and trail enhancements. All of these improvements support long-term stream bank stabilization, habitat restoration, and safer, more accessible recreation for residents and visitors alike. To keep up with all of the project updates, head to the Bloomington Forward website. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's Council Minute. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.